Flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay then. I have a very, very short report on an item I approved on July 21st, which was authorized by Resolution 16-097. Yeah, that's the revised resolution?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All is that we let the Board of Liquor Control know that the consensus was to concur with Bainbridge Township trustees and not request a hearing for the Aldi Ohio liquor license in Bainbridge Township. Ralph, do you want to bring up that other?
You know,
license?
yeah, I talked to Dave. I guess for Chesterland, we had requested a hearing for the
Dollar General.
Dollar General, and notified yesterday that Chesterland has, I believe, 11 licenses.
For C1 and C2, there's 11 each allowed based on
So-
population.
When this came forward, I had made the recommendation that we have a hearing because, you know, once again, it's big business coming into small communities and basically, you know, overpowering the small guy, you know. And we've got in Chesterland, my position was, is we have good mop-pie independent retailers down there that hold licenses as far as, you know, beverage store and you know, restaurants or what have you that, and, you know, I just felt that we don't need another license if necessary to try to protect our local merchants. And obviously, you know, government is once again swallowing small business, and so it's frustrating, but our hands are pretty much tied. And to be quite honest with you, it's almost like I don't know why we even need to be bothered with the nonsense of us approving this if it's going to be rubber stamped anyways.
Well, I think they want you to have the opportunity, if the person wants a license may have some issue in their background
Right.
where the citizens may have a problem with that, they want you to have the
Right.
opportunity to have a hearing.
And I get that, but it's like I have a problem with
Yeah.
this because at the end of the day, there's families of these small businesses that depend on family business owned establishments that you get a big box retailer with thousands of stores in there. It's going to possibly, and I understand there's minimums and stuff, but whether they undercut or whatever they do, to be able to take that amount of business, that's going to put a small business in a
Could
trick
represent
bag
the
to
difference
potentially
between
put them out of
staying in
business.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so at the end of the day, it's just, and I don't care what anybody says, those stores do not have service. And I think that our residents get shortchanged because the more of these big box stores you put in, the less service you provide because of the fact that you're hiring people that are going to make sub-minimal wage, and at the end of the day, you're getting a bad service. So what we do is we're basically killing small business in this whole country by us continuing to allow these big box retailers to come in and basically swallow up the little guy. And I can tell you that Dollar General is not going to pay what an independent retailer will pay their people to have a better quality of life. And everybody wants to live on the cheap, and here's what you get. So let's put another establishment in to hurt the little guy. Don't like it, but I don't have anything else to do with it.
You know, I think if you don't mind me adding on, I think it's a good conversation to have. We've been so much in the reflex action on all of these things. We don't really have a say. We can put up a fight and make an objection to the Liquor Control Board, but it's really the Liquor Control Board, it's the state that determines this. It's not us. So Chesterland got a chance to weigh in. They rubber stamped it, just out of habit, just out of reflex, because government oftentimes just out of reflex does these things. These things come to the commissioners. We never really think about those much because we don't really understand until Ralph brought it up, the implications of some of these things. And I live in Chesterland. Right across the street from the dollar store is a drug mart. That's a locally owned, operated operation who's going to be hurt by the dollar store going in there. Now, the dollar store is already in there, so we're really talking about a liquor license, so it's just extending their capability of the services they provide. But I think it's a healthy conversation to say, can we stop doing these things out of habit, out of reflex, and start thinking about what we're doing to our communities? We probably should have talked about this before Dollar General got the permits to build, to say, is this healthy for our communities? Is this really what our community wants? You know, do we have a right as government to stand in their way? They are free enterprise zones. I think it's a worthwhile conversation to have, and we do these things so much out of reflex. That's kind of how we've gotten ourselves into the fix that we've gotten in many ways.
Well, I think what's happening is we're saturating a market that nobody can survive, and it's a situation where you look at Chesterland. If you take Dollar General, where Dollar General is being built, which I cannot understand how in God's name they approved that to be built in that postage stamp lot, but they put that, they've got a Dollar General that's going to probably sell beer and wine. You go across the street in that drug mart, they sell beer and wine. You go another 300 feet to the cornered Shell station, they sell beer and I don't know if they sell wine also, but then you go to Revco across the other side of the street, they sell beer and wine. Then you go across to the BP, they sell beer and wine.
Giant
Then
Eagle.
Giant Eagle, right behind Dollar General, is going to sell beer and wine. You go down the street to Colonial Beverage, they sell beer and wine. You go down the street another 300 feet and they sell beer and wine at that red, white, and blue or whatever that store is. So at the end of the day, it's like, this is crazy because it's so saturated and there's only, the pie is only so big. So when Skip Claypole goes and cuts his grass and decides, you know what, I'm thirsty and I want to go and get a case of beer to sit down and drink.
I want to make sure there's a store there. I
Well,
don't have to drive too far.
All of these other facilities, these gas stations are all 24 hours a day. We have no shortage of you finding a place to go and get your fix. And now we're putting in another one. So it's like, whatever. Don't get me started.
You already started. Yeah, you already started. I mean,
Thank you, Dave, for winding them up.
Hey, it's okay.
it's like, I think, you know, it's like you gotta try to protect your small businesses. And at the end of the day, we're not. We're killing business because we're saturating it to the point that it's crazy. And in this specific thing here, it's going to be a detriment to on top of what's already there to these smaller businesses. That's it.
Interesting to see if they can even survive. And we got some local businesses that Dollar General, I think, is going to have a hard time competing, but I'm not seeing a lot of cars. It'll be interesting. But they're right next to a child care, a daycare, and they got a liquor license. So I don't know. Maybe the daycare guys might have to. So enough of the conversation on that. But I think it is a healthy, and I thank Ralph for bringing it up.
So I guess,
it's a
you know,
healthy
for-
thing.
as
for us
far
to
as that
talk about.
goes, if we need to make a motion to just go ahead and not, and, you know.
And withdraw the request for the
withdraw
hearing.
request for the hearing,
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
make that motion.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, I was trying to.
No, we're trying
That's
to,
right.
we're fast tracking.
Catch up, come on.
Skip's trying to make this
Christie,
right
we're fast tracking the
here.
I'm late, I'm
procedures.
late.
Come on, you got to keep up.
Oh, come on. All right.
It's a fun day today.
Oh, you don't know that happened.
Yeah, okay. If anybody is interested, I do have the list of all of the permits that are allowable, how many are available for every one of the townships.
So if you
For
want to
all the townships, I'd
If you
love
want
to
to get a
have
liquor
that.
license at your,
Yeah.
at the
In case I'm
store.
driving around and I need to know where to get
There's permits.
a quick six pack
No
or
problem
something, you
there.
know, I've got to know.
And interestingly enough, it tells you whether
Get
it's
your
a wet or
9mm
a
shotgun
dry.
shells and a case of beer on the way
Okay.
out.
Especially since I don't drink, so.
So, meeting minutes.
Okay, all of you were here for the 12th, Ralph was not here for the 19th, so we're gonna do them separate. Commissioner's office has requested the board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting on July 12th, 2016.
I'll make that motion.
Commissioner Rear?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool? Commissioner's office is requesting the board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting on July 19th.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rear?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Stay.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
Morning, Ann.
Good morning. How are y'all doing today?
Good.
Morning, Ann.
Good morning.
We didn't talk this morning. You look
Did
pretty,
not. You
look
must
pretty
have got
simple.
stuck in traffic on 322.
Oh, yeah, he gets stuck in traffic on 322. It was very frustrating there.
Stopped at Dollar General.
And I had to stop at Dollar General. They don't have liquor though, so. Yeah, the financials were simple.
Okay, for this week for the financials, we have an appropriation transfer from the general fund contingency to return appropriations to the sheriff's office for expenses reimbursed and deposited into the general fund. And we have a supplemental appropriation request for Job and Family Services Family First Fund for contracted services. We have a cash transfer from the general fund to the Public Assistance Administration Fund for the fourth quarter mandated share. Under encumbrances, we have a travel encumbrance for the building department, a travel encumbrance for community development, and a contract for $1,543,900 with Jack Gibson Construction for the Russell Park wastewater treatment plant upgrades. In the payments, we have a payment of $31,250 to the City of Chardon for the police prosecutor and assistant salary contribution for the first 3 quarters of 2016. A payment of $16,544.22 to the City of Chardon for pretrial release officer contribution for the first 3 quarters. Payment to Lake Geauga Recovery Centers in the amount of $41,200 for the 2016 jail treatment program assistant. A payment of $203,210.34 to CIR Inc. for replacement of the Cuts Road Bridge. And a payment of $171,405 to the Portage Geauga County Juvenile Detention Center for 3rd quarter. Questions?
What was the last one with the juvenile detention center, how much?
$171,405, and that's our portion for 3rd quarter.
Okay.
Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and execute resolution number 16-100, itemizing the financials for the meeting of July 26, 2016.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
Aye.
It's your first time
It is my first.
presenting it.
Yes, it is.
No pressure though.
No, none at all. I'm Ed with Department on Aging. We're requesting approval for the contract for Janie King for cleaning services. 2-year contract from August 1st through July 31st, 2018. In the amount of $53 per month.
There was somebody else that wasn't getting the job done.
Yes, we got another service that wasn't performing their skills.
You did terminate their contract then?
I think we did it.
Yep.
The Department on Aging is requesting the board approve and execute the contract agreement with Ohio Services Cleveland LLC, doing business as Janie King of Cleveland, to perform cleaning services at 12555 Ravenwood Drive for the period August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2018, in the amount of $1,500 per month. And once I caught that and made that correction. I already knew what you were laughing at.
Inside joke.
I will make the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Hi, young lady, how are you? Staying cool in this weather?
AC's great, isn't it? Okay, I'm here today to ask for permission to advertise for a grant amendment for BF14. We've had 2 projects go out to bid, which came way over the estimate. And so we are going to decrease the scope of the project with the outcome of the project. Instead of doing the ADA bathrooms and the entryway at the airport, we're going to focus on the entryway this year and hopefully get the bathrooms in next year or the following year. Of course, we can't do bathrooms if you don't have an ADA entryway, you know, have to do the entryway first. And so
What
that's
did
what
we
I-
do before? We couldn't go to the bathroom before
Yeah.
the entries?
Go
Well-
outside.
Yeah, well, they use the hangar right now, they just open up the big door in the hangar to let them in, seriously, with the wheelchairs.
Oh,
So,
okay,
yeah.
okay, I just, couldn't be too much information.
To get them in the building.
I was gonna say, who cleans the hangar?
Right? And the second project that we're amending is the Geauga County Buildings and Grounds ADA doorway. We also had a bid come in that was way over the estimate to put in ADA hardware at many of the offices in for the county. So we're decreasing the scope of that. We're going to downsize it and just do like the Board of Elections and the veterans first, and then hopefully we can get a couple more smaller ones in as well. Hopefully the bids will come in for that. But in order to do, change our outcomes, we have to do an amendment with the state for our purposes of the grant.
The Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the board grant permission to advertise to hold a public hearing for amendment number 1 for the 2015 Community Development Block Grant CDBG allocation grant on Tuesday, August 9, 2016 at 9:15 a.m. Notice of the public hearing will be advertised on July 28, 2016 and on the county website.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner
Aye.
Spillier? Commissioner Claypool?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning. How are you?
Good. I don't know how you want to handle the first three. These are, if we can do 7, 8, 9 maybe together, there's 3 contracts executing for the Auburn Road, sections A through C resurfacing, Aquila Road, section C resurfacing, and the Mulberry Road resurfacing. Just asking you to approve and execute the contracts that you've already awarded to Ronnie Paving for those 3 projects.
Okay. The County Engineer's Office is requesting the board approve and execute the unit price contract with Roniak Paving Incorporated for the asphalt resurfacing of Auburn Road CH4 sections A through C in Auburn and Bainbridge Townships in the amount of $636,464.80. The County Engineer's Office is requesting the board approve and execute the unit price contract with Roniak Paving Incorporated for the asphalt resurfacing of Aquila Road CH5S section C and Burton and Clarendon Townships in the amount of $651,606.80. The County Engineer's Office is requesting the board approve and execute the unit price contract with Roniak Paving Incorporated for the asphalt resurfacing of Mulberry Road CH39 sections E through I in Chester and Munson Townships in the amount of $784,803.53.
I'll make those motions.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye. I'm assuming we're doing the other side, not the other side.
Correct. The stickers are on this side because of the folder.
Item 10 on here is to approve and execute change order number 1 and final for the asphalt resurfacing of Gingrich Road, County Highway 34. It's a decrease in the contract of $39,678.40. And basically that decreases actual quantities we needed to perform to meet the existing site conditions. And we were able to eliminate the intermediate leveling course and use the material that we had, so there was like a $12,000 deduction in costs based on grades and actual grades in the field.
The County Engineer's Office is requesting the board approve and execute change order number 1, final, decreasing the contract with Roniak Paving Incorporated for the asphalt resurfacing of Bainbridge Road, CH34, Section A in Burton Township, in the amount of $39,678.40.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
So like where did that, so you guys had the material at your yard or did the material on the site?
It was in the bid. It was basically to meet the existing grades. We had to make some adjustments to match what was actually in the field based on the work performed. So by the time we had some corrections that we made, it ended up eliminating some quantities. And then we always have items like borrow or excavation that, you know, we kind of estimate a little bit high to cover some unknowns. We didn't have to use any of those. So,
Okay, nice.
so and then prices come in a little bit different than our, you know. So we're able to save some money on it, which is good. And I think we have got a really nice road now with that pass through.
Yeah, very nice.
Okay,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Go beat up on those ODOT guys. Didn't get that, get 322 done.
A long night last night there, so.
Morning.
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 Before we begin, I want to give a shout out to Great Lakes Cheese for helping. We had a freezer go out, a large freezer with a lot of valuable food and stuff in it. Great Lakes Cheese stepped up and helped us to get a temporary generator in there to save the freezer, right? No?
No, it's truck.
A trailer, a whole truck trailer
Oh,
with
the
a diesel
power unit,
powered
power unit.
refrigerator.
Power unit.
Yeah.
Freezer.
So, and we appreciate them coming to our aid and helping us and all that kind of stuff. So we can take the message back to them for us. We really appreciate it.
So, it was a freezer that went down and they just did a major order for jail there.
Mhm.
So it was pre-packed with food and everything, so. We were able to get a hold, Dale Wedge was able to get a hold of them and they were able to bring one out, so I wanna say about 4:35
So,
o'clock.
so they bought a whole freezer, they didn't just bring a power unit?
No, they bring the
Truck
whole
trailer,
refrigerator that's
trailer.
diesel
I was
powered.
confused, okay,
Yeah.
good. Wow,
So
that's-
we got
that's
a trailer,
phenomenal.
46-foot trailer parked out there
Mm.
right now, so.
So how'd they haul that? They bring one of their tractors,
Yeah.
hooked onto it, and brought it up, dropped it?
Yep.
Where's that leave us with the unit in the
Uh,
jail? Are they gonna replace the refrigeration part of that?
They have the
Repair
parts
it?
and they're up there repairing it as we speak, so as soon as I get down here, I get down there, just find out where we're at, so we got the parts overnighted, the whole works.
So, yeah, it's something that can be repaired, it's not something that needs to be, well, tear it all out and buy a whole new one.
Correct.
Okay.
So we're in the
Thank you.
process, we're gonna clean that whole freezer while it's down and everything, get it all wiped down and everything, so. It was, like I said, Dale Wedge was really great with getting it there, so county home, right off the bat, we took some, bunch of meat down to the county home and put it in their freezers, so, and then from there, we were able to get the big truck up, so.
Everybody stepped up. Glenn, worked way past normal quitting time, then he went back there at 10 o'clock last night just to make sure everything was running okay.
We got a lot of food in there, and I just don't wanna see that wasted, so.
Yeah. No, great job. We really appreciate it. All your extra work, she's stepping up, so, and all your guys, I'm sure you weren't alone, and I understand the spouse, a couple of spouses were involved, so that's fantastic. It's the nature of the kind of people we got, so that's great. Thanks. So, you're on.
This one's, when we were redoing the parking lot behind Building 3, we had some of the base that was really, really bad, so we had to pull it out, put the base in the compactors and everything, so, and that's what this came up to, $2,700. Get new base and everything, so.
That's good.
Get a chance, go back there, it really looks good, so. Drainage, what little rain we've had so far, it's draining really good, so. That's all I have.
The maintenance department is requesting the board approve and execute change order number 1, increasing the contract with Phil Miller Construction Incorporated to undercut base and adjust location and elevation of the 470 Center Street parking lot in the amount of $2,710.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner
Aye.
Spillier? Commissioner Claypool?
Okay,
Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
Should we move that? That is correct.
Oh, good. So it's a minor thing. We just need rid of it.
That's all right, she sent them to me, and the original one is underneath, but I put the new one on top and did replace them to both sides, so.
And we have nobody here, so, Dave, you wanna?
I really don't know anything about it other than they sent us the paperwork, and this is a second quarter reimbursement report. And I understand there was one little minor change that had to be made to it, but everything looks good now, it appears to be in order, so.
In case anybody's interested, we're doing a financial report for juvenile courts. And this is for a grant juvenile peer review. The dollar amounts are, well, the dollar amounts were, as a quarterly report, $14,000, $1,800, $5,574, so. With that, go ahead.
The probate juvenile court is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the Ohio Department of Youth Services Juvenile Accountability Block Grant, JABG, 2013 JB 014B226, second quarter reimbursement report.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Morning, Michael.
Good morning, good morning.
Mike, morning.
Ask you guys to approve hiring Austin Everhart to a position of part-time driver. Simple. We have one guy out on long-term medical, I don't think he's, not sure he's coming back or not. And I have a request for two that I've had in for a while, so I've gone through many, interviews. And we're working to make sure we get the right people. So I continue with this little revolving door with these last couple that we've seen they have, so.
Do you have any background information on this guy? Because some of your drivers have very interesting careers before they come to drive.
This is this kid, I'll call him a kid because he's like 24 years old. It's a little different than what we normally get. Normally we get the retired school teachers, school bus drivers, et cetera.
Pilots.
Yeah, pilots,
Yeah.
Vietnam, back in the day, we get them.
Yeah.
But he's a, and I don't know, I'm not very familiar with online gaming, but he's an online gaming host or webmaster or something. And that's not, it's not a full-time thing, but it's part-time and he works that around the job he's trying to get. So, for us, it seems like we'd be the steady rock of relatively solid, and then this other thing. And I don't understand all this gaming stuff, he's a master, he talks to people and stuff.
You could really work some miracles with the MDTs perhaps.
You never know. We try to tap into all our resources there, trust me, but, it's just, we'll talk about that soon. But anyway, yeah, so it seems like a nice kid, so it's a little different than what we normally, because most young people are looking for that full-time career. And I think his career is outside of that, and he just wants this for the steady.
Just for the fun of it.
I don't know if it's for the fun of it, I think he needs a steady base of, I have a definite
Mhm.
job here with good pay and great people, nice clients.
Great boss, right?
That's, take a poll.
Well,
I go by the 30-30-30, some love, some hate, and some don't care. Just the way it is.
The Transit Department is requesting the board approve hiring Austin Everhart to the position of part-time transit driver number 2210-1 to be effective August 8, 2016 at the rate of $13.57 per hour with a one-year probationary period.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
Thank you.
So I was downtown the other day, and there was a bunch of people in downtown in the Sheridan Square, just looking like they were wandering around lost. They were just wandering, going this way, going that way, wandering around. I said, what the heck are they
City
doing?
council?
No, they're
No.
not.
City
They're
council.
looking for Pokemon.
Yeah, it was the
Good
city
one.
council. Yeah, they were
Good one.
lost, sorry.
They're looking for the Pokemon?
They were looking for the Pokemon. There was all these kids and adults, and they were out there wandering around.
Probably was.
I thought they were gonna walk out in the middle of the street, a couple of them.
That's happened. though.
Bumping into poles and tripping over sidewalks. And it looked like a bunch of crazy people out there. A couple of the city council, mayor.
See if we can get somebody to
On
come
the
in.
team,
That was
you know what I
good.
mean?
See if we get somebody to come in here during session and stand around and kind of walk around and just follow
What a world.
around. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Just don't let any of those guys drive our transit buses.
No.
No Pokemon on the road. Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and execute resolution number 16-0101, establishing location and time of the September 1st, 2016 regular meeting of the Board of County Commissioners to be held at the Geauga County Fair, and it will be at 10 o'clock a.m.
At 10, okay, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Okay. This last one here, with the board's permission, I wanted to insert something just before this. Mrs. Brahenny, could you come up here a minute? Linda Brahenny wears a number of hats for the county. Come up, yeah. Just stand over here. Just don't worry. It's all right. No, just want to recognize you. There you are. Yeah. She wears a number of hats for the county. She manages our record center, she manages our HR function, all the personnel policies. She supervises the majority of the folks in the commissioner's office, staff. The other role she has is something called risk manager. We have Corsa Insurance. How many counties are in Corsa? 68, I think, out of the 88 counties, that is a County Commissioners Association of Ohio program, is self-funded property casualty insurance. So we get very cost-effective insurance at very affordable rates, very good service. And we have very attractive rates partly because this county has a history of always following the recommendations and doing the things they recommend that we do. So they have something called a loss control incentive program, which then requires Linda to manage a number of programs, try to control people to come to various meetings and trainings and whatnot.
We bribe them with presents.
Brian with presents, she buys food, little snacks out of her own pocket. And, you know, being the Betty Bulldozer she is, we got an email here that was sent to her. Congratulations on your continued hard work on the loss control incentive program. You have achieved 100%. The amount of your course of loss control incentive program credit for 2016 is $14,684. I just want to recognize her for that great work.
Thank you very much.
Thank
We,
you.
We get that money back because we jumped through those hoops and achieved the certain things they asked for from us. Last Friday, we walked all over the fairgrounds. I had no idea how big the fairgrounds was. There's like 112 buildings. We had to go into each one of them and walk around and look at them. And it was like 85, 95 degrees. My car said 102 when I got back in. Oh my gosh. I thought they've killed me this time.
You like this nice office job you have
I
here?
love the air conditioning.
Yeah.
But thank you for that. He wanted you to know that we had achieved our incentive again this year. It was 9,000 last year, this year it's 14, so.
There's a lot of work to it, it's not just a gimme. And
Yes.
most counties don't get 100%.
I wouldn't say most, I would say at least half.
Yeah.
You get the
And,
100%.
Thank you quickly.
Oh, here we go.
Thank you.
We're so used to Linda doing a good job, we don't
Yeah,
often
well,
get a chance to thank her, so.
People for granted for doing a great job.
Keep your eyes open. Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, I'm gonna ask Tony, why don't you come on up?
I'm sorry, there's one other little action that had to be taken here. This is housekeeping. You had given me the authority when you revised that list of things I can do to not only accept resignations, but also advertise for a replacement person. And initially, Community Economic Development had someone submit a resignation because they had gotten a good job offer and they're gonna move on. So I had approved going ahead and advertising for the replacement, but Community Economic Development stopped and said, we want to revise the job description, put more in it, make it a grade higher. So we have to rescind the action that I had approved to advertise, and that's all this is.
And then next week, for all of you, will be of the new job description and all that fun stuff, so.
Okay. We don't need a motion, right?
Commissioner's Office is requesting the board rescind a motion approved by the County Administrator July 18, 2016 to approve permission to advertise for the position of Administrative Secretary number 1403.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
All right, now, Tony. One of the fun things that we get to do as commissioners is sit on the Waste Management District Board. And there is an interesting, unique thing that's happening, and Tony's involved with this. Tony's an entrepreneur. I asked the board to be able to have him come and talk to us today, and I'll tell you why, to be clear. Mr. Gresh has invested a significant amount of money to do what's referred to as a dirty MRF, which is a kind of a waste hauling, recycling / thing. The EPA has mandated that we recycle. And so we have single stream recycling, which means you dump everything into one bin, and then that's all recyclables, no garbage, and they take and separate the glass and plastic and yada, yada, yada. And we have some companies that take care of that single stream stuff. And then there's garbage. Most of that garbage, it gets picked up next to your highway, gets picked up, taken to the dump, and everything that's in that truck goes in the dump. 60 to 70 to 90% of what's going in the dump is recyclables today. And so, as weird as it may sound, it is possible to extract those recyclables out of that garbage, so our landfills are not getting the recyclables, and they have value, and they can go back into production, and so on and so forth. Tony has invested significant money, I don't know if you want me to tell anybody, about my $9 million, I think, into a facility, and it is an amazing facility to go see. I never thought you could, I actually did a tour, because I was curious to find out how this thing worked and what it was all about. I couldn't think of any way that you would take garbage, potato peelings and dead fish and baby diapers, and get all the stuff out of that, and then you're just left with this little pile of stuff versus the recycling stuff. So I went to his facility, walked around, looked at how he did it. It's amazing. You got huge magnets that suck steel out of the trash. They got aluminum identifiers that pick out aluminum. You got little air puff things that see the plastic bottles and shoot the plastic bottles out of the garbage into a container. It is really an amazing facility, and it's all private industry. It is not government doing something. We, the three commissioners, are going to have a board meeting on Friday or Thursday. Tony needs to get support in order for this to work. I'm hearing some noise as though government wants to impede him, because this will then impact government's ability to continue to grow and to be involved with this kind of stuff. I want to support private enterprise. There is no harm to government. If Tony succeeds, we all succeed, because it is a private guy who's gone out there and invested everything he's got into an opportunity, and he needs to make it work, and all he needs is garbage, our garbage, to make it work. And so if our government, our waste management district, does not, and I'm a little, I want to hear what they have to say, but I want to have Tony explain to the other commissioners, because they haven't had the opportunity to go out there and see his facility. There is no downside to this that I can think of. And I'd like to see full support of this, because if he goes out of business, okay, we go back to dumping it in the landfill. If he succeeds, then 60 to 80% of that stuff that would go to the landfill doesn't, and that meets the stupid EPA rules. Don't send it to the landfill, okay? Do you think I have an opinion on this? So with that said, Tony, I wanted to give you a chance. I don't know if the other commissioners have any thoughts on this or have any insight into this, but I wanted to give Tony an opportunity to hear from the horse's mouth on what this is going on and the benefits of it. So,
Well, I appreciate the great introduction. And I appreciate you taking the time to come down and look at the facility operating. When we last met at the Solid Waste District meeting, I think you might have been a little, not blindsided, but were not aware of what we were doing, and it was just laid in your lap to sort of like comprehend like straight away. As Skip has said, I've invested a tremendous amount of money, but for several reasons. A, it's a good business venture, I hope. B, we're going to employ over 100 people in Trumbull County. And I know this is Geauga County, but this big facility will service both counties. In fact, it will service Ashtabula County, Portage County, and others, depending on who wants to not bury their trash anymore. You know, so it's a local economic driver for employment, and it ranges from the 10 to 12 to 14 to 16 to $18 an hour type jobs. But the biggest reason is it's environmentally sound business project. We take, and we have the capacity to do 420 tons a day processing. I've given you a small example there, 200 tons a day. You know, literally, if we were to maximize our capacity, we would save about 70,000 tons of trash going into the landfill. Now, what people don't realize is, let's get this in, you have a single stream program that puts paper and cardboard in a container, you're pre-sorting it and they take it away, and then they send it off to a mill that gets ground up and they make new cardboard boxes. What people don't realize is the available commodities in your trash on a daily basis is about 60 to 70 or even higher percent of recyclables. And what happens today is it goes to transfer station, gets thrown in with everybody else that goes to transfer station gets bulldozed into a big hole and covered up. I wish I had that business program a couple of years ago to fill a hole up with garbage and make money. What I want to do is stop that. I want to reclaim all those recyclables. And I think Skip saw the amount of recyclables coming out of the trash can. It's staggering. You know, in one day, you know, on a 5-hour shift just with the trash from Ashtabula County, in our test modes, we're pulling out 2,000 pounds of aluminum in 5 hours. 40,000 pounds of cardboard. And the amount of caps and tin lids, it fills up a dumpster. It was mind-boggling, past my expectations. Now, there are certain rules that we have to follow. Being a legitimate recycling facility, we have to be able to process 100% and reclaim 60% plus to maintain our status. Right now, we're above that just in our trials. Okay. So what we're planning to do is offer it to other folks that don't offer recycling. City of Warren, where I live in Howland, has recycling. Youngstown does not have recycling. Leavittsburg, when you go up in Geauga County, there's no recycling up here other than the single stream available to drop-off boxes. We're not professing the haulers have to be involved, but we're giving the haulers the opportunity, the private haulers the opportunity to use our facility so they can reclaim and be in the recycling business. So what effectively that does, it takes less to the landfill, and it does reduce the fees going back to the solid waste district, but it's actually doing the job of the solid waste district. On bulk, we believe the solid waste district will actually net not be out any type of fees because we'll have more tonnage come in than what's available today. Now, we only have capacity for 400 tons a day. There's, I think, roughly going into the limestone landfill, there's about 2,400 tons a day going in there. So we're just taking a blip out of that. But I want to make sure that, you as commissioners that are making decisions, let's understand what we're trying to do and the upside of it, instead of always saying this a negative. They're calling us, a failure before we start. The old technology that was used in places like Medina and whatever, the government-run agencies, they used old technology that didn't have the ability to do what we do. Skip saw it firsthand.
And I went in there as a skeptic, and I'm watching this process, I'm going, this could work. I don't know how he makes money on it, and I questioned him a dozen times, of course it's his $9 million, but I asked him a dozen times, how are you going to make money with this? I even went to the point where I met with the district manager for the EPA to find out, what is your take on all these things? Is this something that's good, that's bad? He likes it. His challenge, like everybody else's, they don't know how Tony's gonna make money. Well, it's not our business. If the guy invests $9 million in something, it's his business to make money. And all we gotta do is make sure he's not harming the taxpayers in some way, shape, or form, and he is not. And so I'm gonna ask the other two commissioners on Thursday to support him. In addition to that, while we're here, I'm also doing homework on the hazardous waste management facility. A little under a year ago, I brought that up as a topic to put into Geauga County, and the Waste Management District's been pushing back. I'm finding out that there's not good reason for that. I met with Geauga County, met with Summit County, I met with Lorraine County to find out how they do this. This is very doable. And our Waste Management District is locked into a habit, as we talked about earlier. They got this mindset, and they're not out of the box. So I'm gonna be talking to them about that on Thursday. This is another example of that. This would shrink government, I hope, and make private enterprise, put private enterprise in the shoes, and we get a better product at the end of it all. So I don't know if you have any questions for Tony. I got pictures of his operation and little shaker things, and the guy's he's got a little vacuum thing that, he's got people on the line, and they pick up a plastic bag out of the garbage, because it's weighted down with diapers and all this kind of stuff. God bless them that they can do that. And they pick up a plastic bag, and this vacuum just goes, sucks that plastic bag right up. So he's collecting all the plastic bags that's going down this unit. And he's got a little shaker that shakes all this garbage apart so that the heavy stuff gets separated from the lighter stuff. It's pretty neat, interesting.
Yeah, we do have an open house on Thursday morning.
Do you? Okay,
Yeah.
because when we met down in Warren, I asked you at that time if I could see this
Yeah,
facility.
we sent out, you may have missed the email, we sent invitations, about a month ago, and then I sent invitations last week. You're more than welcome to come and see it operate on Thursday morning.
Thursday morning at the
Yeah.
address that's on
Yeah,
this.
1400 Front Street.
Where was here? I thought I saw it here.
Yeah, just to confirm, we've had the Ohio EPA in there, everyone's happy. There were, yesterday there was a meeting, and there were people, out of all the hundreds of neighbors, there was 3 retired folk come in and You know, they objected to what they thought was a smell, and just to combat that, to make sure that everyone's happy, you know, we're deploying a full natural vegetable-based odor neutralizer. So we're going to try to be the best neighbor we can, but at the same time, we're gonna stay in business and do the right thing by the community and the environment. It's all about jobs and stopping stuff going to the landfill.
You have on here, you know, private industry / jobs, 100 in Warren, Ohio. Obviously, that's,
That's where I live.
I know that. I'm just saying that's where your facility is, so there'll be 100 jobs in Warren, Ohio, but you'll hire them
Oh.
from wherever the best applicants
Yep.
come from and so on.
Yep.
I mean, it's a little, when I read it, it's a little deceptive, and when you say that this is Geauga County, so we don't get any jobs, well, people in Parkman may.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, they may want to drive down there. Somebody up here may, you know, balk at the distance. But,
Yeah, it's like anything, it's just control, you're right.
yeah, I mean, it,
We're not agnostic to where they live.
yeah, it's not some clique where if you don't live in Warren or
Not at all.
or Trumbull County, you can't work here.
And the trickle down, I mean, we will eventually have, you know, trash coming from Geauga County and Ashtabula County, Portage County to get recycled.
I have two questions that, we have something going now that's was mandated, which is our solid waste district. I'm guessing that they're not necessarily, the employees and so on are not necessarily in favor of this. Is that a fair?
That would be a fair assessment.
Okay. This impact, the impact that this will have, will do what for the solid waste district? Will it,
Well, I have not looked at their whole budget. I don't know how many tons a day they're receiving fees on. This would be a minimal impact as far as fees are concerned, because it's just, you know, we're based on 200 tons a day. But if we reach capacity and bring in commodities from Mahoning County and Ashtabula County, there'll be enough bulk. The net going to the landfill should be a very minor impact. If anything, it might be a positive to the budget of the solid waste district. But I'm not discounting that there's going to be some initial deduction in fees. That's what the whole idea of recycling is, taking less to the landfill. And unfortunately, the way the solid waste district is set up, they get paid on the tonnage that goes to the landfill.
Right, and
Yeah.
to be quite honest with you, and just being candid here, if we put the waste management district out of business, that'd be good for the taxpayers. I mean, it's only there because the EPA mandated certain things, and so we had to establish a waste management district in order to accomplish what the EPA and some others wanted to accomplish. We don't need that government agency necessarily. We could rethink how they operate and maybe, you know, shrink them down or
I think
refocus them.
rethink is a good word, because when you have, you know, flow control, if they were smart about flow control, they said, okay, everything that gets picked up in our county, we want to maximize the facility, so we're recycling the maximum, then they'd be doing more of their job than that the EPA set them out to be. Instead of the EPA wanted recycling, but it ended up being a Dropbox program.
Right. Well, they'll always be there
Oh, yeah.
because of the requirement that we have on a state basis, but,
As soon as the Dropbox program, as soon as cardboard hit the all-time low, then the whole of taking the Dropbox program has nowhere to put it, because there's no.
but theoretically too, as I was looking at your operation and what they do, you have some competitors that do the single stream.
Correct.
Your machinery could handle the single stream.
Oh, without
It just
doubt.
takes the garbage out of there. Now you're dealing with less to be able to separate the recyclables into the glass, plastic, tin,
Remember,
steel. and
single stream, we have customers, I can't tell you who, unfortunately, but we have customers that bring single stream to us. We sort it all out, paper, cardboard, plastic, metal, aluminum. We bale it and give it back to them for a fee. They pay us to sort it out.
And how much is it, so when you're getting the other refuse, how much do they have to pay you to take it,
Yes.
or?
They pay me a fee to drop it off. And then and then I own it. And then I pay the fee to the landfill, and I sell the commodities that are left over after it's all sorted and baled up.
Right.
I sell the commodities all over the country, all over the world, wherever the broker takes them. And then I take the sorted, the real trash, what's left over, you know, and that goes to the landfill. That's all in sealed containers. We have 2, or actually 6 large compactors that we put that into. And then the loose stuff, like, you know, kitchen chairs and couches and mattresses, they go into a big dumpster, and we take that away as well.
Like I say, my biggest question, concern, is that I have to disagree with Skip in a way that, you know, we do something, we're gonna tell the EPA. Nobody tells the EPA anything.
Oh, I certainly didn't.
Yeah, they're gonna tell us, and if the solid waste district is financially, you know, it's not solving it, it's operating at a loss, or this, that, or the other thing. I don't see any documentation that's followed along that says, well, we can close the solid waste district in the county, which means either the cost is gonna go up. I doubt, since they only have about 4 people working for them, I think, right? I think it's 4 people, that there's gonna be much opportunity to reduce employment there. And that's the only question mark that I have, is that are fees gonna go up to the haulers, which in turn transfer to the property owner, the customer? I don't have, and I apologize, but I don't have a good handle on how that works.
Well, when you look at the total tonnage going to the landfill on a daily basis out of the 2 counties, you know, it's gotta be in excess of, you know, 2,000 tons. We're taking probably 300 tons out of that a day. Or in fact, let me revise that, it's about 120 tons a day. So you're talking 120 out of 2,000. And in turn, we're getting 100 people employed, and we're taking a lot less than landfill. But I will tell you, I want to grow that to max that to 400, because my goal is to recycle, less landfill, more jobs.
Yeah, I don't want you to misunderstand or be misunderstood. I was in favor of this when we talked down there. It was fascinating. And it was a private enterprise, which has a whole lot of advantage over government, and so on. I just want to ensure that residents, people who are paying to have their refuse picked up and so on, and the 2 counties that are named in this aren't left holding the bag in some way financially. And I don't know.
Well, I mean, and I fully understand some trepidation, but I will tell you, you know, us recycling, we're going to recycle more than a waste district would ever. Now, are they going to streamline their business a little bit? Possibly. Are we going to retrain our haulers and the community at large? I mean, I gave a couple examples to Skip. If you have someone buys a brand new TV, they get that old TV, they haul it outside and sit it there. Well, currently, the trash guy picks it up, goes to the landfill.
Right.
Well, the problem is, the stuff inside that thing is very bad. You know, all that heavy metals. So what our plan is, we're gonna have a lot of stickers, and that hauler goes by someone's house, and they put a sticker on it and tells them where there's 4 locations they can take that TV themselves. I mean, it may be a little bit inconvenient, but at the same time, they can take it there for free. They can take it to a Best Buy or one of these locations. You can take a TV there to get done. You can take a microwave there. There's lots of other avenues that people need educated on to dispose of hazardous waste per se. Yeah, I will tell you, we get a lot of paint cans, okay, in our facility, and the magnet picks up the paint cans. And we sit everything aside, and we take that to a place that handles hazardous waste. Done. So we're actually being a bit of a police force as well, just saying. Because there's lots of ways, if we, instead of just, and don't take this the wrong way, instead of just collecting fees, and monitoring everybody, and educating, you know, 1st, 2nd, 3rd graders about recycling, but then they go home and there's no recycling. Yeah, and I'll use City of Warren, maybe a bad example, but there is no recycling. It just goes in one can, and they pick it up, and it goes to the transfer station, it goes in the ground. I'm gonna put a stop to that. I'm gonna recycle, 70% of that, plus hopefully those types of haulers, and Sunburst is one of our partner haulers. They're gonna be putting stickers on microwaves instead of taking them to the landfill. They're gonna put stickers on big screen TVs. Yeah, and they have a thing called an overage where they'll come and pick those things up, but they'll charge them a fee, so they're gonna educate people. You can't just throw, you can't just throw everything out in the street and expect it to go away.
Well,
It needs to be streamlined.
And the Waste Management District does, other than the standard dump haul, they do all kinds of things. So they're doing hazardous waste, they're doing they're doing refrigerators and TVs and all that kind of stuff, and they're doing other kinds of recycling. So the Waste Management District, while I would love ideally to have private enterprise replace them, it ain't gonna happen. It's just a pipe dream. But being able to rethink or relook at how we're doing things, and here's maybe an opportunity about that. Is there a more efficient, more effective way? Are we really accomplishing the objectives or the goals of the Waste Management District, which is to reduce the amount of stuff going in the landfill? This is a great opportunity to do that. It also gives us an opportunity to talk about what they're doing, how they're doing it. And so, I think it's as we talked about the whole liquor control board thing earlier, it brings up the conversation. So I appreciate you coming up tonight.
And what time is that on,
9 o'clock.
9?
Yep, get there before the heat gets on.
What's this?
Get there before it starts getting hot. Yeah, 1400 Front Street, you take 422 all the way to the very end, do what the hot dog shop is in Warren. You take 422 till it comes to a T intersection, take a right along the left-hand side. All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
So you're selling my son Thursday at 1:30.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I motion to adjourn if you want.
All right.
So what kind of fish?